reruns from last year when I was going back to school. Now I had made an application to stay in the school hostels because of some reasons. But when time came, there were financial constraints at home, so I couldn't. So I went to the school administration, I let them know that I cannot. But they told me the only option is NIPA or I call off the semester. I tried severally, I visited the offices severally, but they were taking me around in circles, and eventually I gave up. Then I let Dad know, because Dad was in a country, I let Dad know what they had told me, and because he was away, he had me go with my uncle to school, and we went there, and the lady who we found there told us the very same thing. You either pay or to call off the semester. We went back home. I lost hope completely, and then Dad came back. He went to school, and then he came back and he told me that they had said the only option that is there is I call off, so that that fee that had been paid is to me there. Because the issue that was there was this money that was invoiced for accommodation. So because I had several people playing with me, I had Pastor Tom, and I was also sharing with John. So I went and I let John know, this is what I've been told. Even though we have been praying, I've been told that I'm supposed to call off. So I've lost hope completely. And then John prayed for me and he prayed with me. And then on the next day, I told John, okay John, now I've been told this like you, I'm writing this letter. I just want to try one last time. And John said, it is well, we will pray. So I took the letter to school. 1 week later, I received a reply. I'm told to come and pick the reply for the letter. And the letter says, I just have to call off. So I called off the semester. I lost hope. I stayed home for the rest of the semester. And what was frustrating was my fellow students reaching out to me all the time, asking me why hatukuoni shule, tumeenda trip, hatujaenda na wewe, nini mbaya. So I did not really tell them the truth. To time I told we decided to propose kuna pressure mingi ya shule, but I knew why I called off the semester. So New Year came, I'm supposed to go back to school. So I'm going, but at the back of my mind, I know there is this thing that is there, tutaisolve aje. So I approach Dad and I tell Dad, so Dad, tutafanya aje? Hii pesa haijatolewa kwa account yangu, at the same time you cannot be able to pay, tutafanya aje? So Dad says, just go to school, I will look into it. So again I try. I go to those offices again, I talk to those people, I tell them, please understand, this is what is going on. But they do not understand. They tell me you just have to pay or you call off again. So I try severally. Nikachoka kama mwanadamu. I called Dad again, alikuwa ameenda ushago. And then Dad says, just have hope. And now this time, I was just honest and I told him, Daddy, sitakudanganya. Mimi sina hope. Hope yangu ilikufa kitambo. And then Dad says, just have hope. Ninarudi. And then Dad comes back, he makes his way to school, and anaambiwa the very same thing. And then at some point, akaambiwa we are supposed to write a letter to the VC. So he writes this letter, he comes home, and he tells me, there's this letter that I wrote, and we are supposed to get a reply tomorrow. Now, it was on a Wednesday. Now that tomorrow is Thursday, and then on a Friday was the very last deadline for registering units for that semester, after which if you haven't, you just have to call off. So the next day I'm studying, but ninasoma na sitaki kusoma. I'm looking at it in that ninaweza kuwa nina waste resources again, alafu nikose kumaliza the semester again. But ninasoma to just in case something good happens. So I'm seated next to my phone, I'm looking, no phone call. Ninasoma, ninaangalia tena, no message, nothing. Then it's Thursday night, I'm supposed to go to school on Friday. So I go to sleep, I wake up, I go to school on Friday, I do my exam, and then now I make my way to go register for these units. But I know, hii pesa bado iko kwa account haijatolewa na haijalipwa. But I go to register. So I get some forms filled, I get them stamped, and then I want to make my way to the offices now. And then as I go there, I meet Dad outside these offices. And he looked confused. And I asked him, Daddy, nini mbaya? And then he gives me this letter. And now this letter had a lot of words, but I did not read it. What caught my attention were 3 words. Has not been approved. That was the only thing that caught my attention. Then I took my phone, I logged into my portal, looked at my account, and surprisingly it was 0. So I showed Dad. Daddy inasema 0. Niaje hii letter inasema has not been approved. I did not even think much. I just made my way into those offices and I gave them those forms to fill for me. Now, a few days later, I'm looking and I don't see my units registered. So I'm wondering, kwani fomu yangu ilipotea ama ilienda na upepo ama ilikuwa mixed up na papers zingine? And you know, at the back of my head, I know I promised God, if you walk with me through this, I will give a testimony. And now, with the account that was reading 0, I wanted to give the testimony, but now, nilikuwa ninajiuliza, nitapeana testimony na bado sioni hizo vitu hapa. Na ikibackfire je, sasa itakuwaje? Nitakuwa nimedanganya watu. So I told God, acha nishikilie testimony kwanza, ukiona hizo units hapo, nitakuja kutoa testimony. Then 2 weeks, it has been 3 weeks actually. I've been wanting to give the testimony, it has been 3 weeks. Then out this past week, on Monday, is when I saw that my units have actually been registered. And I was looking at it like, wow, this is God. The VC does not have the final say. He said that it has not been approved. That money cannot be reversed. But it has been reversed. Something which is I don't think it has ever happened for people that I know that I have talked to. When that happens, you either pay or you just defer. Wengine wanaacha shule because of that. Once money has been invoiced, you pay ama unaachana nayo na unaacha shule hivyo. So for me, it was a very special case. I did not see it coming. It was very strange and mysterious to me. But I thank the Lord because He has walked with me through that. And what I can tell you, through whatever you're going through, don't look at the situation like man. Look at God. Ukiangalia kila mahali na unaona there's no way, hakuna kitu unaweza ukafanya nayo. Angalia juu. Juu ndio imebaki hujaangalia. Angalia huko juu. Because in Isaiah 46 verse 4, God tells us that He made us and He will carry us along and He will save us. Allow that God to save you. Allow Him to take care of you. Don't lose hope. Now I was looking at myself and I was thinking, I'm behaving like the Israelites when they were in the wilderness. Because God saves you. Alafu unafika kwa obstacle nyingine, tena unasahau Mungu. Tena unakusema, tena unamsahau. Because when I look back at my education, there have been a lot of obstacles that God has been saving me through. And then after this one now, I looked at it and I was like, I'm very sorry. I told God I'm sorry. I asked God to forgive me because I've been like an Israelite. I've been forgetting Him. He's taking me from one thing, ingine ikikuja, ninasahau ni yeye alinitoa. But now I prayed and I asked God to continue giving me strength so that I don't forget that He's the one who has been taking me through these things and He will still take me through other things. So through every situation, don't always ask God to take you out of it, because most of the times God wants to teach you something. There is something that He wants you to learn from that situation. Allow Him to exalt Himself and to magnify Himself through your life and through that situation. Allow Him to magnify Himself. Allow Him to teach you. Ask Him to hold your hands, to give you strength through everything, because He can. He can do it for you. Ask Him to give you courage, because in Joshua chapter 1 verse 9,
We are told to be strong and to be courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, because the Lord will be with you wherever you go. The Lord will be with you. He gives you that assurance, gives you that promise, and God does not go back on his word. Allow him to be there for you. Thank you.